guys, welcome back to my channel. It is that time of the month again. We are here to pick my monthly TBR. I can't believe it's about to be May already. I feel like this year has both been going really slowly and really quickly. April itself, I think, has flown by. Last month's TBR, I actually did pretty well with. I have read 4 out of the 6 books already, and I'm planning to start the 5th book. So I am already doing miles better with this month's TBR compared to the previous months. Today is April 25th, so I have about 5 days left. We'll see if I can squeeze both of these books in before the end of the month. I don't really think so, but we'll see how it goes. If you've been keeping up with my videos, you know that I have been working on a reading challenge called hankyu, made by Cordy here on YouTube. And right now I have 3 total books left before I complete the challenge. 2 of those are new releases, one for May and one for June, and then one more book to hit different prompts. So we'll see if I can squeeze those in here somewhere. For my new releases, I usually choose the book that I get from Book of the Month or from Aardvark, because both of those are new release subscription boxes. The book options for both those boxes don't come out until later in the week, so I don't know what book I'll be getting yet, but one of those has a permanent slot on my monthly TBR. That being said, let's shuffle the deck a couple times and let's get started. Like normal, we are going to pick 5 different prompts. So prompt number 1 is the 4 of Spades. 4 of Spades is a genre I don't normally read. I feel like this year I have been branching out for a ton of different genres, but I think my comfort zone is still contemporary fiction, romance, and fantasy. So I'm going to try to pick something that is not in those genres. So for this prompt, I came up with 3 different choices. The first option is The Escape Game by Marissa, Meyer, and Tamara. This is a YA thriller that follows a girl who joins a reality TV show where contestants try to solve tricky escape rooms. This girl decides to go on this show not for the contest, but because her sister was a contestant on the previous season and got murdered. So she is here for justice to solve her sister's murder. I skimmed through it and they show puzzles in here which sounded really interesting. It looks like you might be able to solve along with them, which I think would be really cool. And this is a book on May 26 in 2026. So this is option number 1. Option 2 is The Long Walk by Stephen King. This takes place in a dystopian future where 100 boys have to compete in a grueling long walk. They must maintain a steady pace of 4 miles an hour, day and night without stopping. Whoever is the last man standing wins the prize, in which they can get anything that they want. This was recently turned into a movie. I think it was released like last year. And one of my friends said that she really enjoyed this book, so I'm interested to give this one a shot. I wasn't really going to read another Stephen King book, but the fact that this is a normal sized book makes me more willing to pick this up. The last option we have is Some People Need Killing by Patricia Evangelista. This is a nonfiction written by a Filipino journalist. It covers the Philippines in the midst of Duterte's drug war, and it documents the killings done by both police and civilians during this time period. These are the 3 options right now. I feel like I'm honestly interested in all 3 of them. What's weighing on my mind is that May is a very busy month for me. I have a lot of plans and I don't know how much reading I will be able to squeeze into that. But on top of that, I am participating in Escape the Readathon, hosted by Books with Lexi this month. Even though I might not be able to read as much as I normally do, I do want to be able to contribute to that readathon. So I'm thinking that as much as I want to read this, I probably should save this for a month that I have more time, because I do think it'll take me a while to get through this nonfiction. So then the two are The Long Walk and The Escape Game. And I think I'm gonna go with The Escape Game for this one. It helps me mark off a 26 in 2026 book. And since it's written as a YA, I feel like it'll be fast-paced enough that I can just fly through it. So book 1 on the May TBR is The Escape Game by Marissa Meyer and Tamara Moss. Prompt number 2, pull one in the middle. It is the 10 of Spades. So 10 of Spades says a book that matches the current season. I am in the US, so the current season is spring. So let's see if I could find a spring type book. Okay, I actually don't think I own a lot of books that kind of fit the spring. I feel like most of these books are matching fall or summer vibes, but I did find 2 options. We have Funny Feelings by DeWitt. This book I just picked up. This is about a stand-up comedian who is in love with her manager. Her manager is a single dad with a deaf daughter, and the two of them have been close friends for years. Then a big opportunity comes up in her career, and the two of them need to fake date for whatever reason, and we can kind of guess where it goes from there. So this is option number 1. I feel like the rain gives like April showers, and then the flowers is like Mayflowers. So I feel like this gives spring. And then the other option that I have is The Passengers on the Hankyu Line by Hiro Arikawa. And this cover very much gives spring with the cherry blossom trees all along the cover. This is a book that follows 5 different characters who are passengers on the Hankyu Line. It says their stories crisscross like railway lines. So I think this is one of those books where you're following individual characters with their own individual stories, but they might have like little cameos in each other's stories, or one of those books that focus on like the butterfly effect. So this is option 2. I think between these two, I'm going to go for The Passengers on the Hankyu Line. This book has been on my TBR for a few months. I just bought this one. I think I need more of a push to pick up The Passengers over this romance. So I'm going to put The Passengers on the Hankyu Line as book number 2 on the May TBR. Prompt number 3 is the 2 of Clubs. 2 of Clubs says a book that has a prologue or epilogue. A prologue or epilogue tends to be in fantasy. So let's see if I could find like a faster paced fantasy. I don't really want to go through every single book that I own, but I found 3 options. Option 1 is Go the Distance by calonita. This is a Disney Twisted Tale story that asks what if Meg had to become a Greek god. This follows the events after the movie Hercules, but instead of Hercules choosing to be with Meg, he becomes a Greek god, and Meg has to prove herself to join him on Olympus. The quest is to save the woman that her ex-boyfriend had left her for after she sold her soul to save him. This is option 1. I feel like as a Disney-inspired book, it will probably read pretty quickly. Option number 2 is Escape by Stephen Fishbach. This is another reality TV-based thriller. It is inspired by Survivor and written by Stephen Fishbach, who, if you watch US Survivor, he competed, I think, twice on the show. So this is inspired by his experience on the show. The blurb ends with, What begins as a battle for money and fame spirals into something far more dangerous. Ultimately, the real question isn't about who will win the cash, but who can escape the island at all. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, Survivor is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I absolutely love watching it. I love watching reality TV. And so I'm very excited to see what this is about. And then the third option, which I bring up pretty much every single TBR video and yet have not read it yet, it's Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, the first book in the Infernal Devices series. I keep pushing this off for literally no reason. I am just so worried that I'm going to read this and not like it as much as I liked the Mortal Instrument series, because I hear so many things about how the Infernal Devices series is so much better than the Mortal Instrument series, and I absolutely loved the Mortal Instruments. So I'm worried that this is going to be a letdown and that I'm not going to want to finish the Shadowhunters universe in general. But I have been seeing a lot of people picking this up for the first time, and all of those people who have picked it up for the first time have really enjoyed it. So I need to stop dragging my feet and just read it already. Those are our three options. And I think immediately I am torn between these two. I do want to read Escape, but I just picked that up this past week, and so I feel like I should try to get some of the older books on my TBR off of it before I start reading any of the new ones, especially because I'm way more likely to mood read the new books. So between these two, I feel like both of these kind of help me towards different goals. This would get another book marked off my 26 and 2026, and this one would help me get rid of the oldest books off of my TBR. So I think I'm going to put Go the Distance on the TBR, and hopefully sometime soon I will just suck it up and start the series. So book 3 on the TBR is Go the Distance by Calonita. 2 more prompts left. Let's pick one up here. Is the 8 of Spades. The 8 of Spades, I really need to change this prompt. This is a hard prompt. The 8 of Spades is a book that was published in August. Okay, sorry if the angle changed. I have been looking for so long that my storage on my camera ran out, had to clear out some storage, and I'm honestly going to give up on this prompt and we are going to redraw a new one, and hopefully I remember for next month to change that, because that is just way too hard to find. So let's redraw a new prompt. Let's go with this one, the 6 of Diamonds. 6 of Diamonds is a book with a queer character. That should be much easier. I have a few options, but I pulled out 2. We have This Ends in Ember by Kamilah. This is the second book in the, I don't know what the duology is called, but the first book was So Let Them Burn. I think it's the Empyrean series, the Divine Traitor series. Okay. Yeah, so this is the second book in the Divine Traitor series. I read the first one about a month ago, maybe less, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I feel like it was a lot easier to go through while listening on audio than it was to physically read it, so that could definitely help with the amount of traveling. I could just listen to this on audio while I am on like the plane or on a drive or something. So this is definitely an option. And then the second option I have is The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This one is a standalone fantasy. The back says 2 warriors shepherd an ancient god across a broken land to end the tyrannical reign of a royal family. It's a sweeping adventure story and an intimate exploration of identity, legacy, and belonging. This is on my 26 and 2026 and written by a Filipino author. So this helps mark off some of my yearly reading goals. I think between these two, I am going to put This Ends in Embers on the TBR. Our last and final prompt, we'll pick one towards the back, and it is the Ten of Hearts. The Ten of Hearts is a book with a pretty cover. For a book with a pretty cover, we again have two options. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. I believe this is a romance book. The back says, grieving the loss of her best friend, a young woman finds her life turned upside down when she meets a grumpy stranger who swears he can help her live again. I have heard really good things about this book, about Cara Bastone as an author. I've heard her compared to Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez as romance authors, because all three of them tend to weave more serious plot lines and like deeper emotional storylines in with the romance. I am interested in trying her out. And then the other option we have is The Elsewhere Express by Samantha sotto yambao. This is a like cozy fantasy book. It follows a magical train that is supposed to help its passengers find their life's purpose. This is the same author as Watermoon, and that book was very cozy fantasy. It's similar to Studio Ghibli vibes, so I feel like this could also be a good option. Looking at my TBR, we do have a decent amount of fantasy in it already, and we have what I would consider like a cozy read. So I think I'm going to go with Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone as the fifth and final book on my May TBR. With that, let's do a quick recap and see all the books that I will be reading in May. For a book in a genre I don't normally read, we have The Escape Game by Marissa Meyer and Tamara Moss. For a book that matches the current season, we have The Passengers on the Hankyu Line by Hiro Arikawa. For a book that has a prologue or epilogue, we have Go the Distance by calonita. For a book with a queer character, we have This Ends in Embers by Kamilah Cole. And finally, for a book with a pretty cover, we have Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This is the stack for our May TBR. I think there's a good range of books in here. One thriller, two fantasy, and two kind of lighthearted books to break the rest of them up. So I think this is really good. I feel like I will be able to get through each of these books fairly quickly, and that they could help in the Escape the Readathon that I am participating in May. If you want to participate, I am not sure if signups are closed by the time this video is being released, but I will link Lexi's announcement video down in the description below. With that, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below and let me know what is on your May TBR, what book you're most excited to read this month. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.